Guys, Joey here representing WordPump. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to find a job if you have a criminal record. Let's say you made a mistake several years ago. You went out, had too much to drink, got into a fight, and ended up getting charged with felony assault. Or let's say when you were younger, you made some dumb mistakes, but you're ready to turn the page and begin making positive strides in your life. However, your criminal record is the anchor holding you back. An estimated 70 million Americans have a criminal record. Recent surveys show that the vast majority of employers now conduct criminal records checks when hiring. Sadly, there's an acute paradox that exists in today's society for individuals with a criminal history. On the one hand, there is an expectation of productive reintegration into the community for those who have been incarcerated or who have obtained a criminal record. On the other, employers seemingly shy away from individuals with a criminal record. One of the main elements of societal reintegration is to find meaningful employment. The problem is that laws in the United States are written in such a way that employers can legally discriminate on individuals because of past indiscretions. At times, this inability to find work creates a perpetual return to criminal activities or other self-destructive behavior and feelings of despair. The practical strategies I'm going to discuss with you in this video are meant to empower people who have made mistakes but have changed their lives and would like a fresh start. While it would be nice if there was an elixir that could provide us with the dream job of our choice at a moment's calling, the cold hard truth is that there isn't, and the only way for anybody, let alone someone with a criminal record, to find a good job is through persistence and perseverance. While there tends to be an undue bias towards individuals with a criminal history, there may be programs available to you that can help you overcome this obstacle. If you're recently released from prison, you may be able to take advantage of job services offered by your correctional facility. A placement specialist may be able to provide guidance in your employment search. When you have a criminal record, it is important to engage in a particularly strategic approach to job search. Consider the types of jobs and industry in which you're applying. Depending on the type of conviction, it may not be wise to focus your search on positions in which you handle sensitive information or finances. Another option to consider is applying for positions with small or medium-sized businesses. If a criminal records check is required, you may be able to talk candidly to the owner and leave a positive impression so that the record can be overlooked. Before I forget, I want to touch on one very important point. Potential employers are much more forgiving if you can demonstrate that you have taken steps to make sure your past indiscretions are in the past. If drug or alcohol abuse contributed to your criminal history, it is beneficial to obtain evidence of having received treatment to prevent any reoccurrence. This action will go a long way in earning the trust of potential employers. The goal of your resume is to secure a job interview. Do not make reference to your criminal history on your resume. The only exception would be if you've had a long jail sentence and have held meaningful work while in prison. While it is important to remain transparent and address your criminal record, the most tactful approach is to handle this touchy issue in the face-to-face interview. Whether or not you have a criminal record, your goal should be quality and not quantity of job applications. An increased volume of applications won't help you secure your dream job. You need to zone in and focus on the specific position you want, identify keywords, and nail down most, if not all, of the requirements of the position, articulated into a compelling resume and cover letter free of spelling and grammatical errors. When completing job applications that ask directly about a criminal record, answer honestly. If it is a written application or an online application with a comment section, write something like, "We'll elaborate during interview." Just like with your resume, there is no advantage to mentioning that you have a criminal record in your cover letter. I would never advocate being less than transparent with your employer or potential employer, but I am of the strong belief that it is not always necessary to address your criminal history at the early stages of the application process unless you are directly asked to do so. The best time to address your criminal history is at the time of the interview, when you can leave a direct, positive impression on the hiring manager. The one major exception is if you're being referred to the position by a probation officer or prison program. In that case, you could touch on your criminal past. Here's a quick, simple example. Dear Mr. Pacente, our mutual friend Walter Salazar suggested that I send you my resume. I'm looking to find a job as a cook, and he mentioned that your restaurant has several openings. I have extensive experience working in the kitchen at the state prison. I've worked very hard at getting a second opportunity at life after making some mistakes many years ago. This sounds like exactly the kind of work I could sink my teeth into, and I am confident that I could be a positive addition to your kitchen staff. I would enjoy the opportunity to speak with you again in greater detail. I can be reached at the telephone number below. Now, this is just a very brief example to give you an idea on how you can approach the subject. When you draft your cover letter, be cognizant that it is also important that you maintain your composure and do not make yourself seem desperate for a job. You want the focus to be on your skills and abilities and how they will allow you to help the company you're applying for, rather than how the company will help you. A few other tips for your cover letter. Never use boilerplate wording on your cover letter. What this means is don't Google cover letters and then just copy and paste and replace your name with someone else's cover letter. Make sure your cover letter is free of grammatical and spelling errors. Your cover letter should be a page to a page and a half in length, and 3 to 5 carefully constructed paragraphs. Your contact information should be consistent on both your resume and cover letter, and your font size and font type should be consistent as well on both your resume and cover letter. I'm giving away a free ebook which breaks down step by step how to write a resume, cover letter, and interview for a job when you have a criminal record. Subscribe to my channel and I will email you a copy of the book for free. Interviewing for a job can be one of the most stressful experiences a person has to go through. Interviewing for a job when you have a criminal record can be even more stressful. One of the ways in which to mitigate interview anxiety is to be well prepared and accountable. Owning up to the interviewer that you've made some mistakes, but you've learned from them, humanizes you to the interviewer. The last thing you want to do is avoid transparency and have the employer find out through inevitable criminal records checks. Or worse, if you land the job and later on they find out that you have a criminal record and fire you. According to a 2013 survey by Employee Screen IQ, 52% of employers in the survey said they'd be more likely to hire a candidate who disclosed a criminal conviction before a background check revealed one. Having said that, while it is important to be accountable about your criminal past, it's just as important not to dwell on it or make your criminal history the focal point of the interview. The interview is your opportunity to demonstrate to the potential employer all the positives you bring to the table. It is important when you arrive for your interview that the first impression you give your interviewer is that you're an affable person. You want the interviewer to remember you as a friendly, cordial, and polite individual. You should dedicate a significant amount of time gathering as much information as possible on the company and position you're applying for, which will reflect well on your preparation and seriousness when the recruiter asks you about their company. To say that social media sites play a large role now in the hiring process of many companies would be a huge understatement. Numerous studies have revealed that well over 65% of companies now use social media to some degree when hiring or screening candidates. It's not uncommon to scan sites such as LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter for potential candidates. Any content on your social media that can be construed as politically or ethically divisive should be removed. It also goes without saying that photos revealing illicit drug use, partying, or excessive drinking should be removed. Do not underestimate the amount of clout photos or posts written on your Facebook page from years ago can have on your employment consideration, especially when you may already be under the microscope as a result of your criminal activity. Do your best to delete political or sexual content from your social media accounts, which might be deemed as controversial to potential employers. Furthermore, remain aware of people that can make you look bad. If one of your friends on Facebook can make you look bad to a potential employer, it might be best to remove them from your online contact list. From this point forward, think carefully prior to posting content. During the job search process, keep your posts professional and non-controversial. Focus on the goal on hand, which is to find meaningful employment. You want to maximize your chances to gain meaningful employment, and you don't want to risk losing out on a potential interview because of a careless Twitter post. Again, please subscribe to my channel and comment, and I will send you a free ebook with instructions on how to draft a resume and cover letter, complete with scenarios and examples. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.